Okay.
Mute.
Here we go. Thank you, everybody. Lovely to have you with us. So tonight's agenda, a little welcome and some introductions. We're going to split it up into two halves between myself and Miss Price, Vickie Price. We're going to start talking about White Rose Maths, which I'm sure you're all very well accustomed with. What is it and why do we actually use it as a school? Then we will go on to a little bit more about supporting at home and a few little tips and tricks, a few little zesty bits in order to help keep maths entertaining, a few kind of life opportunities in order to incorporate maths, particularly around your daily walks, if you do that as a family. And then some further tutorial about times table rock stars with Ms. Price, who is highly sophisticated and highly skilled with this app, and will maybe offer you an insight to things that you're not sure yet or you don't know the answers to. And as I said at the end, there's a few questions. The session will last approximately probably around 35 minutes in total, with the opportunity for some questions at the end. And again, thank you so much for joining us. It really means a lot. Okay, so White Rose Maths, what is it? It is a scheme that started up in Yorkshire, hence the reason behind White Rose, and its aim is to help students on their journey towards maths mastery, and that's exactly what it exists to do in order to enable children to become masters in maths. As is the maths curriculum, it's not an easy journey. And it's really important for our children to be able to come up with strategies and methods in order to kind of find solutions to problems, because there's not always just one way to answer a problem. And so White Rose aims to help and support students to be able to do that. So maths mastery, I've underlined it and put it in bold. It's all about helping our students to deepen their understanding with maths and to enable them to make connections with mathematics. Historically, the previous curriculum was all about if you solve problems with numbers up to 1,000, the next step would be to go beyond 1,000 to give the children bigger numbers, harder numbers for the children to solve problems with. And this is not the case. Within each year group, there's a set of objectives, and mastery enables children to work within those objectives and solve problems in a variety of different ways, using different representations, using a variety of problems. It is all underpinned by fluency. And I'll talk about what I mean by fluency in a minute. So mastery of maths is about deepening of children's maths understanding. So as a school, we've actually been a part of the White Rose journey for over 4 years now. And interestingly, during the previous lockdown, White Rose were nominated as a part of one of the top companies in the Best Awards, and they had a competition in terms of the materials provided during the lockdown. They were up against companies like the BBC, Manga High, and the Oxford University Press, and White Rose won the award for Best UK Company, and because of the level of materials and the videos that they were able to supply and provide schools and families in order to support children at home and in school. So we're really proud to be a part of the White Rose journey, and we've seen it have an enormous impact on our children's understanding of maths in school. Okay, so broadly speaking, there are many different facets to White Rose Maths, but ultimately it's broken down into 3 kind of main areas. Your foundation, your baseline, is your fluency in facts. So that's all about your quick mental recall. We talk about times tables, learning your times tables or your number bonds. In essence, that is fluency, being able to solve problems, basic problems, really, really quickly. The jam in our sandwich, the mid layer, it combines ideas of fluency and problem solving in order to reason in maths. And again, that's explaining the answers to particular problems. And then at the tip of the iceberg, it's problem solving. So it kind of incorporates all elements of everything that's been learned in maths, and it's for the children and adults to use and apply their maths understanding in a variety of ways. And again, I'll explain these areas in a little bit more depth. But essentially, this is what you're doing at home. This is exactly what we're doing in school. The children are deepening their understanding by answering fluency problems, reasoning problems, and problem solving. So fluency is kind of the thing that probably the children find the most easiest. It is your basic question, okay? Usually you use either counters, you can use concrete resources in order to solve a very, not a basic problem, but like a mathematical problem. So that can include division, multiplication facts, addition, subtraction, finding factors, finding groups of amounts, okay? And as the national curriculum describes it, as knowing is key mathematical facts and being able to recall them quickly and accurately. Hence the reason why we wanted to opt in and buy in times table rock stars to enable our children to practice at home and in school their quick mental recall, because we identify that times tables really does unlock so many different facets of mathematics. Now, you heard me talk about concrete resources and pictures, and this is a part of what's called the CPA approach, which is concrete, pictorial, and abstract. And when we teach and when you're supporting your children at home, it's really important that when we solve fluency problems, that we use concrete resources, pictorial representations, and just the pure abstract, where there's no pictures or there's no concrete resources in order to support the children. And it's a variety of these three things that really does help the deepening of the children's understanding, especially when solving fluency problems. So concrete is the physical stuff, your counters, your bottle caps, you know, your actual money, physical money. Pictorial is, as you would imagine, it's pictures on a piece of paper. And the abstract is your very simple number sentence without any pictures or any other concrete resources. So if you ever hear us talk about the concrete, pictorial, or abstract, that's vaguely what we're talking about. Okay, so the bridge between the fluency, which is your quick mental recall, and problem solving, which is solving problems in a variety of ways, is the reasoning. And I have to say, particularly in young boys who are slightly more reluctant with this area of maths, it's the ability to justify or explain their reasons behind an answer, okay? Sometimes there are more than one answer to a problem, and often this is a really good channel for debate and discussion. There are many times where I've, myself, Ms. Price and other teachers across the school, we've led a lesson and we come to the reasoning problem and we talk about, well, how do you know? Explain your answer, justify it. And we've encouraged teachers to say, when you get into a really good debate around mathematics, especially around reasoning, hone in on it. Have a really good discussion. Spend a bit of time explaining your answers. And here's a few examples in front of you that have been taken across lower key stage 2 to upper key stage 2. And you get some really nice examples where you got, does it always happen? Sometimes happen? Does it never happen? That's really nice. Children really like those. Or maybe asking the question, true or false? Why? All prime numbers are odd. And you get the children to kind of reason and explain their understanding. And then finally, problem solving. Probably the trickiest part of maths. Historically, problem solving used to be given to children who were considered gifted and talented. This is absolutely not the case. Every child must access problem solving. Everyone has the ability to problem solve, and therefore everyone needs the exposure to be able to access problem solving questions. And this is where our growth mindset approach really comes into play. Because again, what we're trying to teach our children is if they can't find the answer straight away, it's about having another go, maybe coming back to it, okay? Having another go and playing around with the answers. We essentially say this is almost like science in a way, because you're constantly having to experiment and play with the maths to be able to find the solution to the problem. And these three areas, your fluency, your reasoning, and your problem solving, these are all three things that you have no doubt been helping your children with at home. And in school, when it's a usual school year, this is exactly what we do on a daily basis. We don't always start with fluency at the beginning of the lessons. We sometimes flip it around, that we start with the problem solving question, really spice it up, really throw the children into a scenario where they're having to really kind of use their deep understanding of maths to solve a problem. And again, with problem solving, sometimes there's a question that you may want to take a lesson on in order to really solve it and find other ways to solve the problem. We love it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Okay, so that's my little discussion about the breakdown of what White Rose is and the different elements within it, and some of the elements that you're obviously helping your children with at home. And we encourage all our families and every teacher to incorporate an aspect of the fluency, the reasoning, and the problem solving within lessons. I'm going to pass over to Miss Price now, who's going to probably talk a little bit more about the home learning and how this all relates to what you're doing at home.
Thanks, Mr. Fry. So when you go on our portal and you go to the timetables, now all the subjects are linked to the planning and the resources that you need. So in the respect of maths, one of the links will take you to the White Rose home learning site, where you'll see this screen up here, where you've got a series of videos about different things. These are amazing. We use them in class as well as for home learning. We stop them, we start them, we rewind them. We've even in year 6 got a name for ours. It's a lady called Barbara. We just want to make it a bit more personal. You can give your personal name. It's there to help you and to show you how we learn and we teach maths nowadays. Like Mr. Fry said, it's a real mixture. Just because you can do it twice doesn't mean actually that you can apply that knowledge. Last century, when I was in primary school, it was very much right. You finish page 5, go to page 6. Yeah, go to page 7. There was no discussion. There was no drawing of anything. There was no using real utensil. There was nothing. It was literally from a workbook. We've come so far in developing children's understanding of maths. It's amazing. So you will be linked to these. And like I said, it will take you through the process of the lesson. Stop it, rewind it, have a chat about it. The way that they present it with the representations is how we represent it in school, in a normal school year. Not lockdown, in a normal school year, we use those different representations. 6s don't really like it. I still say to them, right, use your counters, show me using the counters. It doesn't matter what age they are or their ability, getting them to be able to do it with practical resources and pictorially as well as abstract really cements that understanding, so that if it's in a different context, they've got it there. And there are obviously different chili challenges, different levels as well within it. Yes, please, Mr. Fry.
I just would like to, I mean, you make a really excellent point there, Ms. Price, and I just wanted to draw upon one of the comments a parent in early years and Key Stage 1 made in our last little seminar. And they asked about, you know, how do you actually teach maths? How do you teach maths? which is a really good question. And actually, one of the things that we did say was the videos that White Rose provide are a really good model on how we actually teach maths. And actually, as a school, we're using these videos more and more and more. So by being able to use the video and step back and watch the children learn the maths whilst the person is talking and sharing their examples, it really does give us a really good understanding about how much the children know and where the misconceptions are, because that's obviously where we need to dive in and support and help our children. So the videos, as I said, are a really good example. One other tip that I think we might all suggest, that maybe before the session starts, when I talk about the fluency, to get the children warmed up, think about like a key lesson. Or if you're going to go out for some exercise, if I was to ask you to, I want you to run 200 meters as fast as you can, you're going to pull a hammy. You're going to really hurt yourself. So we do a warm up. We get our bodies prepared, but mentally prepared, ready for the session. And it's the same with maths. I would throw in, or maybe do a quick session of times table rock stars beforehand in order to get the children fired up, or maybe some quick, okay, I know we've been learning our sixes, all right, 3 lots of 6, and just fire them off, get them nice and quick, and then access the video. And I think actually there's some starter questions in the videos as well. Isn't that right, Ms. Price?
Yeah, definitely. There's normally 3 or 4, just as a recap on previous lessons, previous topics. There's also the flashbacks as well, which cover all of the topics that have been taught since September. So it's there, and absolutely 1 to 5 before you begin the task. Brilliant. Get your minds warmed up. Yes, please, sir.
Thank you.
Sorry, you've got control. It's like, no, I know on this one.
Over to you.
Going back to the concrete resources, at school we do have a range. We have beams, base 10, crews and nair rods. I have to think about how to pronounce that. Pneumacon, counters, double-sided counters, place value counters. We have a range of resources which we use for maths. So ask the children to prove things for us. They use themselves to help them understand a different concept. You have got so many mathematical resources in your home that you may not have even thought about. You've got the typical pasta, absolutely. Bottle tops, yeah. So you could take the top off the bottle. They could be used as counters. You could leave them on a bottle as well, and maybe that's worth, the bottle with the lid is worth 10, and the lid itself is just a 1s. You've got cans. You've got cans of different sizes. You could even have things like baked beans. They're worth 100. But peas, they're worth 1s. Think about what's in your house. You've got saucepans. They might be a little bit loud. You might want to choose when you use those ones. But you have got so many things. Normal pencils, pens, rulers, anything at all. The children, once they're in Key Stage 2, are used to drawing, showing pictorial representations of different calculations. Excellent. Get them to explore it more. The one thing is, a couple of things as well, which is really helpful at home, are things like the calendar and the clock. I know it sounds really silly, but we still have children in year 6 who aren't sure how many days there are in each month. We have children across the board who still struggle to tell the time on a clock. If they haven't got their phone there with them, they're struggling. Anything along that line is amazing to use. You'll be surprised what's in your cupboards. Yes, please, sir. Oh, yes. These are the fun bits. Okay, so one thing about maths is a lot of people will say, oh, maths, no, I can't do that. No, I don't want to do that. No, don't want to do that. There are lots of ways to incorporate maths into every day without actually realizing it's happening. For example, out on your walk, exactly like it says here, number plates. There's enough cars around at the moment, a lot are stationary, thank goodness. You collect 5 or 10 of them, okay? Think about when you get back, okay, look at the digits, 8, 9, 4. What can you do with it? Can you make an even number, an odd number? How many of those digits are multiples of 3? How do you know if it's a multiple of 3? Go on, Mr. Fry. Is J894 JEP a multiple of 3, please? Sorry, sir, putting you right on the spot here.
To be honest, Miss Price, I wouldn't know the answer right now. So
I know what it is.
I'm not terribly going to get worried about it, but allow me some time and I will find a solution for you.
Okay.
I have not got my calculator right in front of me.
You don't need your calculator, sir. You don't need your calculator. Like, children start learning that actually to identify a multiple of 3, you add the digits up. So you've got 8, 9, 17, plus 4, 21. 21 is a multiple of 3. Therefore, 894 is also a multiple of 3. There's all the little tricks that they learn at school that you can have these amazing conversations with. Have a look at them. Are there even, is it an even number, odd number, square number, prime number, cube number? This obviously ranges between year 3 and year 6, these suggestions. These aren't necessarily all for year 3, but if they want to have an exploration, absolutely brilliant. Yes, please, sir. Oh, another thing you can do on your walks, on your visits, even if it's just going to the local shop, think about the street names that you pass, okay? Collect a couple. Have a discussion. How many even number of vowels are there in the street name? How many odd? How many consonants are there? What's the total number of the letters? Again, we're going back to multiples. We're thinking about the times table in a bit of a different context. The total number of letters is that is a factor of 36. What about fractional work? What fraction of the street name are vowels? You could even bring that back and maybe get your Scrabble board out if you have one. They're all worth, each letter, sorry, is worth a certain amount. So which street name is worth the most? Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. I might need to put cat on in a minute. But there are so many things, and this is just pure discussion. This is not necessarily anything written on paper. Maths doesn't always have to be written on paper. There's a lot of discussion that needs to be involved as well. Yes, please, sir. Oh, yes. We are extremely lucky to have Victoria Park close by, along with some others, Parrots Parks, lots of other parks and Woods area. If you're out, collect 25 different natural objects that you see. Okay, you can then have these amazing discussions about what you find, not only about like the differences, the similarities, the feather, where does that come from, the cones, which leaf does this tree fall from, sorry. Okay, you can also sort it into different objects, possibly use a bit of fractional into it, using the different Carroll diagrams, Venn diagrams. You can even go in using twigs and trying to make a range of angles, thinking about acute, obtuse, and reflex. The way I always remember it is acute is, oh, isn't that little thing so cute? So it's less than 90. Acute is less than 90. Obtuse is a little bit like the word obese, so it's a bit larger than 90. And reflex is when I have my knee and the reflex that goes all the way. So there's different ways of thinking about this. Okay, really interesting if they want to explore is things like the perimeter of a leaf. That's quite a challenge. I'd be up for anyone who can do that and show us, Mr. Fry. That's not an easy one. I reckon we should do it.
I think it's about being creative with what's out there, keeping it fun, because, you know, at the end of the day, all the home learning that you're doing, the lessons can, you know, I'm sure you'll agree, weigh down on all of us and the children, but going out and exploring and collecting little bits and pieces like this, and kind of providing opportunities for the children to, you know, create angles using sticks, but the children probably won't actually realize that they're completing maths activities.
No.
But ultimately, you're practicing their maths understanding whilst at the same time having a good time playing with sticks and creating angles.
Yeah.
So yeah, have fun. I think because this is what it's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely, because maths is fun, and it can be, and that's what we're after. Yes, please, sir. Oh, and this is one of the other things you can do on your daily walk. So obviously, like I said earlier, there's lots of cars that are stationary at the moment. Brilliant. So when you're walking, just tally up how many different colour cars there are. Whose prediction is going to be right? You can do it over a day, over a week. You can count cars for all of your walk or just a certain road. Have a bit of comparison that goes on. And what you can do with that information, perfect, thank you very much, is that you can do the counting, absolutely. You can change it into a bar chart, a tally chart. You don't have to draw it though. Use Lego. Get your Lego bricks and represent each colour car, how many you saw. It doesn't have to be drawn on a piece of paper. And Lego is amazing fun. Think about how, if this one you could do distance with as well. So you can take some averages, you can think about if one car is this long, how many red cars if they were parked one behind the other. There's so many different ways that you can have this, and it's just through discussion, which is brilliant. Yes, please, Mr. Fry.
I'd just like to also, those of you who don't know, we're recording this session. There are a lot of really good ideas, and these are the ideas that our math consultant, as a part of our Academy Trust, they advise to us to give to our children, you know, for this exact reason. So the session is recorded. It will go onto the YouTube, school YouTube account. So you're able to play back and see these activities for you to collect the ideas. So don't worry if you feel I can't catch all of this. I can't remember all of it. It will be on the YouTube account. Okie dokie.
Okay, now this is where we get to the amazing part. So last year, Mr. Fry,
Yes.
we looked into this.
Yeah.
Yes. Some of the foundation of a lot of mathematics, especially as the children get older, is all about times tables and knowing the facts so that it's quick instant recall. We don't do it how I did last century, when I literally stood next to my teacher's desk and had to go, 1 lot of 2 is 2, 2 lots of 2 is 4, all the way through to the 15 times table. I was stood there for a long time. And if you made a mistake, you had to go back. So you learnt them. But that's not how we're doing it. But what's really important is the children do know their times tables facts. On the national curriculum, it does state by the end of year 4, children should be able to recall all known multiplication facts up until 12 by 12 lots of 12. And we realised that our children needed a bit of support in this. So we invested in Times Table Rock, which all children have access to now. Can you stop sharing, please, sir? Sorry. Sorry. And I'm going to share mine here. Oh, sorry. Yes, I am. Okay. So I don't know if you've gone on Times Tables Rock with your children yet. It's brilliant. So they've got a login, they've got a password. And what's really important is that when you put the school in, so when you sign in and you say, I'm a student, you have to put your school in. I don't know why. St Mary Redcliffe Primary School comes up twice. If you click the top one, you won't be able to get in. If you click the bottom one, you will. We're not too sure why there's 2, but we know that we've got to click the bottom one. Once you can go in, you can create your own avatar. This is what the children love about it as well. Absolutely love about it. And you can create your own rock name. So I'm at Rocks. Why not? And this is the start of my avatar here. Okay. And what happens is the teachers set your times table for you. Okay. And I'm on as a teacher mode at the moment, so I don't necessarily have it. But your times tables are all the way up to 20 lots of 20. Okay. But we are starting, they are in the pattern in which we learned them. So 10, 2s, 5s, then we go to 3, 4s, 8s, 6, 7, 9s, 11s, and 12s. Okay, so your teacher will set you your times table. There's a couple of different modes you can do. So you've got a garage set. Okay, this is the multiplication we set you. So if you go onto it, oh, I'm already onto it, sorry, I got excited then. And then you press play, okay, it will happen. Every time you play, you earn coins. I'm not too sure I've got this in front of me, so I'm hoping you can see. So you get coins for every 10 correct answers. Okay, what happens is you collect your money up. You've got a studio one, okay, where it's 1 coin per correct answer. Sound check, it's brilliant. I've not played these. There's lots of festivals that you can take part in. Now, the festivals are not only with the children within our school. These are children who have signed on in different schools. Okay, the other ones are very much based within SMR, and they're set within SMR. The festival one is where there's a lot of other people. So you have, oh no, Woodstock went. Where did Woodstock go? So Glastonbury at the moment, there are 40 players from differing schools playing on that. You've got the arena, which again we set the tables for, and then you've got Rock Slam. Rock Slam is the ones that the children, one of the ones they like the most. Oh no, I got challenged. So basically, you literally, it's a Rock Slam. You are challenging somebody else to a rock match. It's as simple as that. It's how many you can beat. I think you've got 1 minute. That's it. 1 minute on whichever times table your adult has set for you. How many can you do? Well, a Charles challenged me and he did 39 in a minute. So I'm going to have to reply for that at some point. They can challenge their friends. They can challenge teachers as well. We've all signed up to it. We play it. And I will let you into a bit of a secret. Mr. Hewitt. When Mr. Hewitt started this, he was not happy at all with his time. So he practiced and practiced and practiced. And he kept challenging and challenging and challenging. And he got his time down from over 4 seconds per question to under 2. And he did that within about 3 weeks. It's brilliant. I'm very excited, Mr. Fry, by it.
Yeah, it got to the stage with Mr. Hewitt. We had to offer some form of intervention in order to support his addiction to the times table rock stars. But yeah, competition and the ability to be able to challenge others. I mean, that's the beauty about this. And it was heavily recommended by our schools, and actually parents from within St Mary Redcliffe said, "Have you heard about this? This sounds really good." So we're just so very fortunate to have opted into it, and it's proving to be a great success amongst our families.
It is. And one other thing before I forget, sorry, there is a shop. So obviously you're earning all these coins, and just like with any other computer game that children really enjoy, you've got your avatar, but you can change things about your avatar. So the shop obviously is where you collect it. I've got 820. I can change my skin color. I can change my eyes. Oh, they're quite nice, but not for 700 coins, no. But you can change all the different parts about it, and this is what they really like. And they don't realise that actually they're practicing their times tables. They get into it so much. It's absolutely brilliant.
When you break it down further, you think about saving up currency and being able to identify, well, I would like to be able to collect this item from my avatar, but currently I need another 200 coins to get 1020. So again, it's that clever link about place value, addition, subtraction.
Yeah, it is really good. Hold on, right, I'm going to stop sharing now, sir. I think, there we go. Okay, yep.
Okie dokie. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the